stupidest fucking white man in the world. Maybe Guy Daignac. Maybe. Because Cliff owns him. Literally. Because they're into human trafficking now. And Guy must have been bought by a man named whoever's the head of the Tijuana cartel. Because that's where Clifford gets his power. And Clifford Coughlin's a fish. And the cartels are at war in Mexico. That I understand is in Mexico. I understand I was born in Kamloops. And I'm looking at myself too much because this is not Simba. This is Vernon. And Guy is relying on the support from Hell's Angels that he has no support from anymore. None. Because there's a little secret that I figured out from him when he was on his fucking brick phone in Richmond when me and my brother were pretending to be not part of his life because he was scared about his father. He doesn't want his son dead, but he figures me locked up in jail for life is better than him. And he believes Iffy when Iffy says, and Iffy doesn't have more power than me. He's a failing man. He's got no power left. Because does Iffy need a reminder of who he's dealing with? Because this is British Columbia, and BC means brought cash. And they haven't brought no cash to me yet. And Guy, what's he going to do? Call the cops? They'll raid him and take the blue bag back. Because I haven't called the cops yet. So he stole my bag. Same color as this coat. Funny how that works. Because in Kamloops, I'm still Cody Hayden. And the real Cody Hayden is this man. And do I need to maybe I need to hitchhike in front of a man's property. And maybe I'm not online. Maybe I look like a failed dictator. Because Guy doesn't understand what he's getting involved with. Guy just got woken up at night. And he thinks he's RCMP. He thinks he's a government already. That's a very fucking sad mistake. Because he's a nomad. And he is. I knew he was a biker back then. And they was trying to... He took my bag with all my identification in it. He went in here and grabbed my birth certificate because I left it somewhere. I got these guys out class completely because Iffy's tied in with the Tijuana cartel, and they're the ones that are the most brutal ones down there. Are they not? They're not the most feared in Mexico, though. I was in Puerto Vallarta for a week. Went by myself. I felt as safe as I do now. I'm on one dumb man's property. Well, he hasn't cut me out of the will yet, and he's not watching this because he hasn't found this one. Because Guy. Sorry for that. I'm just trying to tell my father that Clifford Coughlin is trying to get him killed. Clifford Coughlin's the one that leaked the rumor about somebody who works downtown. I didn't leak it. I didn't. And it's probably about time for Clifford to get in because he can't rat you out. And he can't. Because I figured it out. And I figured it out when I figured it out, but I didn't. It doesn't bother me. You're 80 plus club. 80 plus club, years of age, pertains to those who are 80 plus. And this is for Clifford Coughlin. I know where he lives. Because I've seen him. That's why he is. And I'm going to pretend I shave my teeth because I cut my teeth. Only one Cody Hayden does teeth. And I'm the real one. And Christopher Gregoire is pretending to be, that's plaque. He's pretending to be. Because I don't even need ID if I'm arrested. They know it. The RCMP know who Cody Hayden is. And my dad is hiding behind. Was he hiding behind the retired man that got him to tear down the fort? Because I've been looking at myself so long, I'm starting to go cross-eyed. Because keep an eye on myself. I'm not autistic. And I'm a sponge. Because I seen a man at a library. Essay. And this'll hurt. because I'm born of Sinaloa, but not literally, because they're the ones that are the feared ones in Mexico, and they don't human traffic. They don't. That's a fact. And they're fighting a war of attrition against cartels that are gone to fucking evil, trying to fight a war of attrition against them, but they're not the ones using evil tactics. They simply bleed, but they don't die. Because gangsters don't die, we multiply. And I'm a gangster. And Sinaloa cartel has seen me. They know my Facebook is me. They have people that pay attention to these things, and they know I'm me. They also know Christopher Gregoire is not Cody Hayden. They know that. And someone has been lied to in prison because he can hear my thoughts maybe just now. I won't say who. And he's loyal to the cause too. And he's doing his time standing on his head in a closet. There's no closets in jail. And unless you're part of the janitorial staff, but he ain't, because he's probably in 23-hour lockdown. And he's doing his time like a man. And that they can be proud of in Sinaloa. And, well, what more can I say about Clifford Coughlin? He's not a mastermind. I met him once. I said nothing. Because literally, I pulled up to a property and where I knew he lived, and he was trying to get out of the way because he knew I was on the way. And he asked me if I was okay because he didn't know it was me. He forgot about his own intelligence reports, or he never knew him. Because him and Guy aren't buddies. They don't ever hang out anymore. They don't hang out at all. Guy's probably sitting around wondering when he's going to be killed. Hopefully he does get killed. And Guy's hopefully wondering that I'm safe. And he's safe because I'm here on the property. And I found a new thing. Cause what's that? What's going on? Oops. Because Christopher G, you have men tracking you to kill you. Christopher Gregoire, you're not Cody Hayden. And one hair on my head gets hurt. Well, Esket didn't do anything wrong. That's Vernon right there. And if Vernon gotta get involved, I met a good man out there. When I was out there getting my tooth pulled, my door was kicked at the Hospitality Inn. And it was kicked to make me fearful. And I didn't report it. I thought it was a different address. But I think it was Mark Schultz. And Cam, I don't know his last name. I know it's Cam from Camus. He doesn't represent Camus well at all. He gets backing through Edmonton. And there's two Hells Angels that want me dead more than they want to breathe. Big deal. Too bad for them. And the Hells Angels are infighting. They just use gangs to do it. Once in a while, they kill each other off, but not ever. That's their trick in Canada. I know there was one shot dead at a bank in White Rock. This made the news. That was a mafia hit. Mafia. And it was. Guess which one? Wasn't me. So, well, that's the truth. Because I'm back online after a long day at work. And simply put, I found a new toy. And the men of British Columbia that want me dead. Well, you guys all are on Tijuana Cartel's payroll, or you get your cokes through them. Because they're the ones responsible for human trafficking. And the Sinaloa cartel doesn't human traffic. So, Cliffy's power comes from Tijuana. And that's where Val Dixon Evers said he traveled to. I don't know if he went down there for a horse humping a woman or what he went down there for, but those are shows in Mexico you can find. And I never went to Tijuana. Valdez and Savage told me personally he was there. And he might have drove down there, and his wife wants to leave him. He won't even allow her a divorce because Valdez and Savage simply wants to know one thing. What color is that light? And they're waiting for Guy to call the cops on me. Because Guy thinks he's his uncle. Because his uncle's retired too. and simply put, Guy wants to inherit all that money, but he doesn't want to give me any anymore. He doesn't want to pay for that window. And this is all going wrong for Iffy. Because Iffy has embarrassed somebody. And he said he wasn't tied in with them. And he tied in with them to be the ruler of BC. And they haven't started coming up here yet primarily because of me and the butcher. He's a man that's born on the coast. He's a man that don't like Hell's Angels. He don't like them one bit. And I don't like Hell's Angels much either. So I'm not a Hell's Angel and I'll never be one. But the 80 Plus Club, the Hell's Angels, were loyal to Ralph Barger. He knew insanity from sanity. Excuse my dad, because he doesn't know anything. Some people call a gun a toy. Some people call Chris Gregoire smart. Chris Gregoire's dumber than a ball of fucking yarn. Throw one of those in front of a kitten. and it'll get entertained. Because Christopher Gregoire has been running off of something called a lie. And how do they say? The roosters are about the hen. Or is it Pascal Hayden Squally? Because Squally thinks I'm under investigation and I'm going to go to jail for life anytime. And like hell, he knows better than Preston? Preston gets all his information from Pat Haynes. He's been pulling it out of a hat lately. And the red eye? What's red eye? Because I'm the one from the pictures with the red eye. And the ninja from a fish's fucking Facebook? That's Vernon. Simba's in behind sleeping and they get along just fine now. Alright, I'll let you go. He purrs. Simba don't purr. He was raised with me. Simba don't purr. She probably wants Guy deader than I do. But me and him are the killers. We're not going to get our way. Because Guy's alright. He doesn't know anything about the cartels. He doesn't have a fucking clue. That's right where I want to keep him. Because he just plays on the fucking... And this isn't a parody. He's a cat. And he purrs. He's got an injury in his back right there. He won't let me touch him much. He had it. Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe it's just going to be he looks to me for strength and prosperity because he was a stray. And I brought him in to my life. My mother knows of Vernon and Simba's trick. They both look the same. They get along just fine. Simba's not grumpy with him anymore. Because I was on camera earlier. I don't know if that was before or after the camera cut out. Or there was a moment where I raised Simba as the king of the mountain lions, and I did. And it's kind of like a good advertisement for someone who is the king. And, well, my. It's pip. And I know nothing. And I remember that. There was a low-rise built there now. And man was walking in front of a pharmacy. He didn't look like a normal man. He looked like a spy. And I'm not a spy. I'm self-taught. It's an investment knife. I have a parrot on my arm. Because apparently you can train cats into being parrots. And he's a lover. He's like me. But he wasn't abused much. He just got kicked out of his house because of money problems. And BC is an extremely expensive place. And someone knows that he's in a safe place. Because he's a teenager. And teenagers do what they want. And, well, I can think things, and doesn't mean I'm gonna say them. And I know I'm not autistic because I've been looking at myself so much on camera lately. I'm starting to go cross-eyed. And are we all starting to go cross-eyed because we're on our phones so much? Well, I'm not ashamed to say that a gun is a gun. And a tactical handle is a tactical handle. And some people know what a three-legged man is. And I ain't one of them. This cat's looking for love. He simply thinks he's going to be kicked out anytime. Because Guy don't like him. Guy should know he's protected by me and the Hells Angels outside of Kamloops area. And all the other nomads except for Clifford. And Clifford's plan to have me thrown in jail tonight isn't going to go the right way. Because Guy thinks that I'm human traffic. Guy doesn't have a fucking idea what that entails. Because if I'm human traffic, then I'm going to ask for a favor. And I shouldn't have to ask for a favor. Because all I got to do is to hold down the fort here till morning, because he has called the cops yet. Christopher Gregoire, you wanted in jail for life with Clifford Coughlin. Ain't nothing you two can do about it. Because I got more power up here than the crooked Pope. And he don't smoke dope. And there's a young Pope. That's Jude Law. It was in the show. He's a great actor. And there's a good Pope. That's Pope Francis. And the old Pope was Pope Benedict. I seen Pope Benedict one day in his fancy car. And it was a fancy car he rode to Rome. I knew a nephew once. I still know him. He knows me by sight. Then I have to go move in with Tyler Asian to be on content creation. Because there's a little divide between human divide and human trafficking. And Guy didn't steal my bag. Guy didn't steal it. So it's in here somewhere. Because my mother knows me to be Cody Hayden. And Guy thinks he bested me today. Because Guy, if he called the cops on me, technically, he'd be a rat. And we all know what Guy is. Because you've been watching. And, well, he drives a Harley. It hasn't been proven. Not in court. I wonder if he wants it proven in court. Because does he know who I know? Personally? Not personally. Does he know what a timepiece is? Does he know who Dougie is? Because I'm not calling in the Dougie card. Because I'm calling in the Doug card. And they don't want to be led by me. Because they're scared of good leadership. I know of a man that could lead the Hells Angels International. I seen him on TikTok. It wasn't Billy. It was a different man. Billy could probably do it too. It's probably not something he wants to do. But that's what Guy did. He stole my fucking my blue bag. I left it inside when I had a shower. And he doesn't understand what human trafficking is. Because there's going to be a hit put on his head. And I got to think of the number. And Guy's going to think about calling the cops. Because Guy, it's not going to be on you. Because Andy, Tony, and Al are being held hostage telekinetically. And there's no hit on them. And the drama that unfolds in British Columbia. He wants to be. Does Mom know he's a nomad? Well, I know there's a paragraph going on here. The symbol. I see this. Yeah. Guy doesn't even know what content creation is. And whoops, did I fart? See, a man shits himself when he's scared, or when he has gas, he passes a bowel movement in his pants, or when you torture him to death. I don't do any of that, me personally. It happens all the time in organized crime. Well, several billion people in the world. Organized crime touches not every one of them. No, some people are completely legit, and they don't do any crime at all. These are the people that love me most, and they are. Other than the organized criminals that love me even more, maybe. But it's tough. It's somewhere in the middle there, because I'm a content creator. Some knew me from being Cody Hayden, the real one, and I'm a standalone Canadian, because Guy forgot about a time when Guy, you remember that computer that you handed into the chase detachment, or the cameras detachment, Guy? If he knew about that a long time ago. And he doesn't want to tell my dad that through telekinetics. I gotta tell my dad everything. Because I forgot my bag in the shower. And he doesn't want to give it back. So I guess I'm human trafficked now. And I'm under Guy's spell. Because I don't have my bag. The blue bag that I always carry. And Guy doesn't want to give it back to me. Because he thinks if he'll lead the way. And if he knows best is what he thinks. Leave him alone. And Guy. Thin Red Line. I watched it once. Bo Getty Road. And do they need to start having halo drops with Splinter Cell Man dropping out of the fucking sky? Because Guy is protected by me. And that's okay, Guy. Because I'm genetically on file. And I'm getting disability. I don't know it to be true. But I think it's true. Because they can help me get his teeth are mine. And I'm on file with the dentist. And I know there's one dentist Karen doesn't like much. But she has her reasons. And that's Dr. Hansford. And he was actually quite kind to me. And she doesn't like him for her own reasons. And 2 different times. And accidents happen, I think. And it was an accident. And I heard the story from my mother. And Karen and Sherry don't keep in touch anymore. But Sherry's probably wondering if Vernon's doing okay. Because Vernon and Simba are coexisting in the sweet bee of the house. household that pertains to no human traffickers. Because Guy don't human traffic women, children, or man. I ain't leading the fucking Hells Angels. Nope. They can lead themselves right into infighting. Because Guy's a nomad, which were created by Ralph Barger or one of his close friends. I'm pretty sure I read in a book once. The Nomads Police, the Hells Angels. I just wrote Crimson Secret Police, at Crimson Secret Police, at CSP 2075, at CSP 276. And Guy thinks because he stole my blue bag and doesn't want to tell me about it, he thinks I'm a problem and that I won't leave him alone. He's doing weird shit that Chrissy Hayden was doing at the hospital when I seen her last. Like actually close up. She tried framing me up and she was being weird. Because fear makes men do weird things. And there's not a fucking ounce of fear in my heart. And I can say proudly that the Sinaloa cartel does not human traffic. And they're fighting a war. Well, they're fighting a battle. Because in organized crime, it's always a war. And they're in a battle that they can win. I think I can speak for them when I say they want peace and quiet like we have in Canada. But stupid white men, they come and go. Don't worry about him. We'll trim the hedge up here when we feel like it. And, well, that's a son talking of a father. And Guy does look more like Chris Gregoire than me. He really does. I look like myself. And maybe they switched me out when I was a baby. Because I've always said, no, my mother's proud of me. My mother's proud of me, but I know she doesn't wear the colors. Because no Hells Angel ever wear the colors once in her life. That was a woman. Never. And, well, there's a little thing called believing and picture truth. And, well, Guy knows one thing. That, Iffy just got overruled. And Iffy, don't matter if you got my bag with my little bit of methamphetamine in there or not. I don't need ID to get a job. Because I can't get a job for the mob. Because of mob radio. Turn your fucking hearing aid up. Oh, man. He never had hearing aids. But I saw him once on Sons of Anarchy. Didn't like that show. Didn't like it one bit. So when I think of a cut, I think of a pie graph. Where's my fucking piece? Essay. I'm talking about the local drug trade. There's nobody doing drugs up here. We simply sit on Monty Mountain. Or is it Monty Hills? Or where's the peak of Monty Mountain? Did I find it out one day? Is that even a peak? Doesn't look like a peak when you're driving in. Because, just picked my nose. So what? I picked my nose. I do content creation on the fucking internet. I'm not even barely a... And if he's watching, so what, essay? Essay. I'm not a goddamn shiny hubcap. I'm not a Mexican either. I like the Lowrider magazine up here. I did. And I'm standing alone against the Sinaloa cartel. I'm a two-faced fucking liar. And I hate him, but I love him. I'm the only one willing to stand up against them and the Aryan Brotherhood. Because fuck those Aryan Brotherhood bastards. And I don't like them one bit. But to make sure that gets back to the lifers, tell them it's the real Cody Hayden. They'll get a kick out of it. Because I'm going autistic. I'm going stupid. I keep looking at myself too much. That's better. I'm camera angles on the camera, and I don't lip off anybody down there. And I'm just being a turncoat Canadian because I don't mind the Sinaloa cartel because they don't human traffic humans, and neither does the Aryan Brotherhood. And they simply remain behind bars because you can't be an Aryan Brotherhood unless you're a lifer. If anybody gets busy for them, it's not good for anybody. And they hold the power behind the bars. They do, for a reason. And that's white man's business. I don't think I'm a Mexican. I'm the Mexican. Because I was in Mexico once. Puerto Vallarta. It was peaceful when I was there. I seen the Marine drive by with the mask on, the balaclava, and the machine gun on the back of a vehicle. And, well, I rode the city bus down there, and I did. I got 4 of a kind in a casino in Puerto Vallarta, playing the dealer. This is a rare hand. They probably haven't gotten that hand in that casino since. I know of a man that I sat there and played cards with. We operated in peace. We weren't trying to beat the dealer because there's no fucking way you beat the dealer in that situation. Because the house always wins. And, well, I beat the dealer that hand. That was one of the first hands I got playing, sitting down there. That's a rare hand in poker. Any time of day. 4 of a kind. Because I beat the dealer with it. And that's a rare thing. Because, no, I'm not lipping off to the ones that love me most in a very troubled part of the North American continent. Because we're all Americans, eh? And EH. We all are in North America. Some are Mexicans. I'm a Mexican. And some are Canadians. And the old man, Chris Gregoire, is not him. That's my dad, Guy. But the old man naturally was Ralph Barger. And he didn't like Guy sometimes. Because Guy did a thing like throw me in the goddamn psych ward and 20. No. Well, no, that's when I divorced. So, and maybe the old man, not Ralph Barger. Maybe some called him the chief. Different generation. Maybe some called him Ralph Barger. Maybe some called him Sonny. Maybe some rode for Sonny. Maybe some named me Cody Hayden. And I'm the only Cody Hayden from Kamloops. Born when? Ask the Mob Radio. Can't ask him that one. That one's 08-22-89. Not everybody knew about that one. You can ask people around Kamloops who the real Cody Hayden is. And that's me. Because Chris Gregoire is a infiltrator. He is the infidel. He is the evil idiot that is. Because if I ever see him in person, I'll take care of him myself. I've never killed before. And so I guess I get a new ID. That's no problem. I'm on file genetically, so no problem. And Guy fell for their trap. I guess he's human trafficked too. And he still got his ID. And or the bag's left somewhere else. Or I don't know that he has it. Maybe he doesn't have it. Maybe the money in my bag's the last fucking money I have. There's no bag, money in there. And maybe, just maybe, I forgot it in the bathroom. Maybe Mom stole it. Because this is a timepiece. And this I got for $65. Pat Haynes could tell you where. He did his research. Pat Haynes is worth 150 million. And he was having an affair with my mother. Or she just wanted to give him steroids. That's between them. And one thing my dad would do is throw me a goddamn rifle if I was going out to kill Pat Haynes. And Pat Haynes simply is a Hell's Angel. And he's the richest man in Kelowna. Not even fucking close. Because there's richer men that have gone against me. And just because I don't have my ID doesn't mean I'm not Cody Hayden. Don't tell anybody. In the Hamptons. At the Hampton Hotel. Hampton Motor Inn. Hampton. I'm just kidding. Let me see what I can find for music here. Because I don't know what I did with my god. Yeah, yeah. I'm with it. Oh, I can't. I know I can stay in Kamloops for free. At the homeless shelter. No problem. And you know he'll help me get an ID? The team at acting. And I will. And that's no problem. Because if Guy's watching this just now, because he cared to look. Or he's not watching it. He feels embarrassed. Because he shouldn't. Shouldn't be embarrassed. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. You're just being fooled by Clifford Coughlin, who's simply was hiding in plain sight as a businessman. And you don't go on X.com because if he is watching, you should know Cody Jean Edward Hayden with my picture has 2,272 posts. And a lot of it is pretty brilliant poetry. It's written in code for me to look at again and read out on here. Because I gotta figure it out too. It's a riddle. I read it quickly. And someone's telling me he got mad I woke him up. And he doesn't have my bag. And well, I don't have my bag. I know where there's some speed though. I haven't snapped yet. And I clean my teeth. We're sleeping together now. This is a nice sight. And yeah. Hey. One's adopted. One's simply single. He's got a little sugar up after they got yelling at me, my old man. He's my dad. And you're okay. He's my son. He's my son. Vernon. Because Vernon doesn't like, or he doesn't like, I like put my ear on his stomach. He's not pregnant. I'm not checking him for birth. I just like hearing him breathe. He's like me. He don't purr. And I don't cuddle. Never have. And I don't cuddle at all. I don't like to. There's a reason I design myself a certain way. The women don't like me. Or they love me, but they don't want to go near me. Because I got simply something called cancer. I'm going to die any minute. Some people hate how I'm going to get away with it. Get away with what? Getting on disability. And guess what? I'm going to need it. Because they can't poison me again. I'm on my meds. I don't do drugs barely. Because when I do them, I smoke it wrong. Stark reality that Somebody had to teach me that. I'm not a doctor, definitely not a medical doctor. That's someone who needs to be a medical doctor. I was never actually seen with the herpes, so nobody's actually seen me with the herpes. I don't even actually have it, so that's the son of a bitch. It's called Valtrex that treats it, and Valdic is the problem in BC, and every medical doctor knows it this world over, because doctor-patient privilege is still doctor-patient privilege, and Johnny Daniel, that's not how he said it, Johnny Dagon. Well, Uncle Mario should know. He's found the content creation too. Uncle Mario should know you're a Hell's Angel, pal. So, he's not getting away with anything. And don't hiss at him. Something out of my hiss, hiss at him. Somebody crump. Come on. He takes it very personal. I say, is he gonna give it very personal? Actually, I was watching Sons of Anarchy, Sons of Anarchy 4 years ago with him. When I just finished trimming. And I was working. Well then, see, it's funny because I never, Val Dixon Savage thinks I work for him, but I never did. Because I'm the standalone, fall down meth addict. And you see a pipe hanging on my mouth, Val He's growling at it. He's growling at me. Come on, you're fine. You're fine. He loves me. I raised him like I raised you. Okay. You can pick that up from when Montana and Sydney were done pretending to, share me, or they hated each other, those two. And they probably have something in common because, well, they both love me, and they do. And now I'm not in love with either one of them, like dramatically. I'm not head over heels in love with either or. But they're both human trafficked females. And, well, Sydney, she's back in an open relationship because she forgot to keep me in mind when she strong-arm pimped somebody named Kelsey in my presence. There's a camera. And I told her off. I told her off good. Because Ralph Barger left me something called respect. And Zarena should know he's in heaven. And, well, after that, everybody knew where Ralph was going. And he was still a lovely man. And he's going right to where he probably would have called, oh, the hot place. How do I know that? Well, only I know that. Because that's where he said he was going. Except to his dear wife. He said he was going to heaven. And Joanna's going to have to. Maybe I know something she doesn't. I'm not Ralph Barger's heir. He wanted me to be his heir. And he didn't leave me a goddamn thing but respect. And have him come here. Let's see how it fixed him. But Vernon wouldn't dare. That's his. That's Simba's fur blanket. Well, that's his area. And Vernon is being allowed in here, in this space. Because that's how felines work. They operate in a different system. Felines didn't have to pay a fee to be a lion. Simply put, Guy, you're protected here in this house, on this property. Your life's protected by me. Clifford Coughlin tried to sell you under the bus to have you killed. And you're believing him over me. And it's okay, I'll get a new ID. You didn't take the bag. Okay. You didn't take the bag. You know what the meth in that bag was worth on the street? To a guy like Ifford? Nothing. Because he makes it for fucking nothing. They're simply taking the fresh water in this land and making methamphetamine, so much of it, that they made a worldwide cartel known as Valdix. And Valinsky's the cartel leader. Right here. I've seen it on the mob radio once. I can't remember which one. I think it was the original, and before I deleted it. Good enough for me. Zelensky's a caught spy. Oh, he's not having an oil change. People could have swore they seen me on my hood, and they could have swear they hear a cat growling, and he's back on the. And they're good buddies, those two. But simply put, Bruno understands that in order for him to lay on that bed, he has to have the pass from Simba. And to get the pass from Cody Hayden to lay on that bed, you basically have to be a hermaphrodite and have three dicks. Because Chris G is a faggot, and I'm not. And Chris G's never been in here. And if he was in here, it was to put makeup on my face. And he thinks that's funny because he's cracking up. Literally cracking up. The pressure that Clifford's putting on him to be Chris. Because Chris is watching this. And now he's been made the fucking problem. Because he is the problem. And he's the problem because him and Smiley are the problem. And my dad's not the problem. He's not. And doesn't matter where my bag went. I'm still Cody Hayden. I still hold the gold Monte Carlo. And girls know me from all over the world. I'm fucking famous like a rock star. And I am. And I just don't pay him any attention because I've been busy working. I haven't killed a goddamn soul. And that's not why they're running me out of the coke game, though. Because I'm going to get disability. And I'll just get a place in town. And I'll sell. And guess what? They'll help me get a place, too. Because the women know one thing. This is secret. It says 0 for me and 1 for you. And Nikki caught in the act. And, well, I hold my cards well. Because there's a good man in Surrey. There's one good man in Surrey. Because I said nothing to him. And he gave Clayton Ryan shit for nothing. Just because he could. And Clayton Ryan thinks it's not so funny. Because, no, it's just true. Because the chain of command is good and it's sound and intact. But Clifford isn't laughing at any of this. Because Clifford Coughlin is Ifford. He's no C. I call him Ifford. He don't like that. He goes by Iffy, which is when you drop the C and the D. Clifty. Well, he was Iffy before I even came out the womb. So, he's the man that's hooked up with the Tijuana cartel. And they human traffic. They do. And they may not like me saying it, but I'm going to drive this into a piece of wood. So fucking thick. It's almost impossible with that bag. With that mask and, sorry. My dad's been taking, what do they call them when you do content creation? What do you call them? It's like pieces to a movie set. Like, they're all waiting on my dad to call the cops on me. Because the countless chapter's into human trafficking. So was Ifford. And I just farted. And that's how scared Cliff is of me. He shit his pants just now. And he did. Because they all fear Guy. The Hells Angels do. But Guy never showed me any colors yet. So, how do I know that this is Ifford's head? That's Ifford's head. Nobody named Ifford. Nobody calls him Quiffy. Because Iffy is Quiffy. And a quiff is a pussy fart. And does he need a hole made for himself? Because he's scared shitless of me. And he was trying to sleep earlier before I woke him up. I wake him up. He's seen tarantulas in his sleep. And this is just content creation. And my dad wore his arm out trucking. And Clifford didn't give him a fucking thing for it. Clifford hasn't paid him since before Quinnell. I was there with you then. Jesus Christ, man. You don't have to rat me out or do anything. I'll get a new ID. It's fine. You'll calm down if you're even watching. Chrissy Hayden's a liar. I've been on here for hundreds of hours. Hundreds. This is best banter. I forgot. Just because the views don't go up, don't be alarmed. I know a hacker, and he's good. He's known only as the Hack. And he's good, because I'm actually the Hack, too. It's one of my other aliases. He's not quite as good as someone I knew in high school, but he's good too. He does the best he can with what he's got. And, well, if I had to do anything else to make people laugh on the internet, this is actually, I can't, actually feels pretty good. That's like a massage. I know there's purple tips on there, but oh, there's pink there. I bought this for, it's the only brush in the store. I bought it for Simba when he was young. I didn't like it. I used it on him. I didn't like to, but I felt I marketed it to, I had a couple, what did I leave in the goddamn, to see, I only hold the key. And I got my wallet right here. So I'm not worried about ID. I got that. I'm not human traffic. I'd rather show that. The old man just didn't want me doing speed, but if he knew what Clifford Coughlin's making it for around here and what they're getting it for, you know you can get an ounce of speed for less than you can get an ounce of weed in BC? Because in BC the price of speed is like, the price of speed in BC is, you know why I have a meth habit? To suppress my need for food. And that's it. Because the price of speed is simply, it's cheaper to do speed than it is to eat. But you shouldn't do speed. You shouldn't. But it's cheaper to have a speed habit in BC than it is to eat food. And the BC Hells Angels know that. All of them. Except the ones that don't do it and have nothing to do with the meth trade. But they could call a buddy and find out what the speed is worth. Because they're all trying to cut me out of the coke trade. Which they can't cut me out of. Because do they want me to ask the cartels themselves, not in Mexico, but the Colombians, who probably control the flow of everything but human trafficked people, because they don't human traffic either. They never did. One thing they're against. If there's some syndicates in their countries, well, it's not their country, it's the Colombian government's country, and they know that, then they're human trafficked. And human trafficking syndicates operate internationally. And does Guy know that Clifford Coughlin is a human trafficker? I know proof. Because Chris Gregoire is one. And he simply is. And that might not make sense to a man like me. But I have my ID. But I don't have my weed. Because it was in the bag. And don't worry. I'm not human trafficked because I have my ID. My wallet. In my pocket. Dad just doesn't want me doing crystal sphincter anymore. But it was so sweet and tight that I just couldn't resist. It only happened twice. And she's sleeping. And somebody knows the lie from the truth. And Derek Weatherhead's jealous now. Because Derek Weatherhead has in love. Twice. And his wife is sleeping. Or she's watching it with him. And he's just shaking his head and blushing. Because Derek Weatherhead's lying. And Derek Weatherhead was here when Keith was here. Tall fella. Sitting right here. Pretending to be somebody he's not. Punking my dad. Oh, he's in with the Cameras chapter. No, he's not. He's in with the Kelowna chapter. Hey, that's how Quiffy, Ifford, and Patricia Haynes, you know, the ball career from Kelowna, have it set up. And, oh shit, sorry, I got some names mixed up. Patty Haynes, sorry. Patty Haynes won't meet me for a sit down. He's supposed to be at 3 sit downs with me, and he didn't show up to either of them. None of them. And Clifford Coughlin was supposed to be at a sit down with me on the North Shore Denny's at 4:30 weeks ago. He never showed up. He had a man so stressed out he had a fucking stroke trying to deal with me. And this is true because I hold the content creation. I'm the hack. No, I'm hack too. I'm the hack. They call them hackers, and they were trying to get that fucking Hayden up north. And well, they weren't looking for him too hard because it was Preston they were looking for the whole time. He's the Hells Angel. He's a full-fledged Hells Angel. He's taking care of business, and he's been outflanked by 3 women. One named Shanette, who plays tennis better than Jeannie Bouchard. This is hard to say because there's no fucking way she does. Because I know her from the internet, and I'm the hack. No, I'm hacked too. Because there's hackers, and don't you think I ever going after a great woman like that. because somebody's a fan and he's a fan of tennis. And one thing that doesn't matter is if Valinsky likes tennis or not. And they think me and Dad got heat. Well, he's got so much heat, he forces his wife to go do his run around for him. And once that stops, he'll never find another fucking worker again. So, well, and his son just simply thinks money's going to solve it. But there's money when the savings run out. There's also, there's Steve. Steve's gonna run your line out there. Because, Steve, I don't know if you know this, but Adam and Val probably think you work for them. And that's probably what they think. They talked about it in private. And Steve, you work for yourself, right? But you're where the death head, right? So you're working for Val and Adam, and there's not much you can say about that. But the propaganda in the room's a little differently, but you don't talk to your dad either. Or there's a falling out there. I tried to tell you that you get a job and do good, be good, Steve, and well, he's a standalone Steve because he's standing alone, and he's above 18, and he's simply not my boss, and everybody outside of Camas knows that. And well, I know there's something called ice road truckers, and if John has to be the only ice road trucker that ever lived, he was up there. He might chain smoke, but Ben Carr might actually stop by and visit him once in a while, or he stopped doing that, because I know where John lives, and if I gotta go visit John and moan about how much I hate Smiley now, well, I'd be lying, because I still don't hate him. I got my ID right there. I can't be human traffic. Look, I'll show you something funny. And this will really crack people up. Because this is from, well, let me see here. This is from, what year is this from? This is from 2018. This is when I had a different haircut. And this is a real piece, I think. Smells like plastic. That's real ID. Now I got a messy haircut. But I have a double chin. Weird. Maybe I do have a double chin. I don't seem to. Because this one is photoshopped. And does it say Canada on there? Does it say Canada? I don't imagine I have a double chin, but oh, I get it. Because Valinsky and Ifford are trying to say that they own me internationally and in all things containing organized crime. And well, this one here is this is a fake piece because it might be real, but they just have somebody making it for me. I don't have a double chin. I'm next to the law still. That was from Revelstoke Mountain. And what do you know about Revelstoke Mountain, Brian? I know you tried to offer me out there, out of probably your own helicopter. But you guys wanted 20 more years of war with me? Well, I don't smell like pussy. That finger does, though. And where'd I go today? Well, who knows? I hadn't showered yet. And, well, you know what I got access to? Something that you don't fuck with, I say. And, well, some know and some don't. Because, some have reported. Some haven't. I know something called a tactical grip on a fully or semi-automatic. And if Hayden's got access to those, well, who the fuck is Doug from Littlefort or from Doug's? You know, the other Doug. There's another Doug now. Because I knew one that used to play hockey and used to coach. I know him personally. I haven't seen him in a long time. I wouldn't tell Doug I had access to machine guns if my life depended on it. Because he's not the Doug I'm worried about. I'm not worried about the Doug in Kelowna. He showed me his fancy little ring. He sat there like he was John Gotti. And he probably reported. He didn't go soft at all. Or he didn't report that. Because he was sitting there because he wanted respect. I gave it to him. I didn't have to. But I knew the message. That was, don't sleep with another man's wife. That's the only message he was coming by for, because Doug he was here when Dad was working. Dad didn't know that. And they were trying to flex on. They made the right impression. He was here for himself. So he figured he'd teach me a lesson at a weak point in my life. And well, Doug, from Kelowna, you're not sticking up for me. Because, well, Iffy is losing all his power. Because he's tied into the Tijuana cartel. And they're the ones doing all the human trafficking down there. And they're fucking evil. And I don't know any of them personally. But Valdic, that's his call sign. Because Valdic ain't that smart. And he was at the time. I seen a picture in his house. And at the time, ho. And that's Valdic trying to say that he's got to say here. And he ain't got to fucking say here like a nun has a say at a brothel. Well, she ain't welcome. So why is she there? Well, well, that's a good joke. But if it ain't no fun if the nuns can't get none, and hey, some of them are married, or they're the ones raising all the fucking orphans. And who else is helping them? Well, people in orphanages. And well, Grandpa Sam doesn't have to do it alone, because I'm not human trafficked anymore. And I have my wallet on me. And I was just worried that my dad was taking my bag to show that I was human trafficked. Maybe he's just checking that meth out of the bag. Maybe my bag's around here somewhere. Maybe it's in the trunk and it rolled over to one side and I didn't see it. I can't get it in the trunk of that car. If you're drawing toward off, that was one thing. I got running lights. Or I can be seen with headlights. And out in this part of the world, there are no cops around us. And do they want them to? Do you guys want to be police like it's the Wild Wild West? Because I know one goddamn thing. It's a stark reality that, well, I planned my own wedding. And it was a shotgun wedding because it was an Irish wedding. And I don't remember any of it. Well, I remember the wedding. I was sweating a lot more than I am now. And I married for love, and so did she. And she was simply tricked by Valdic, who had started working on her in the Philippines. And if I would have never went to the Philippines, but we've never been to the Philippines, but it was a nice holiday, but that's her memory. And she's Catherine of Winchester. And I wouldn't fuck with her because she knows how to politic. And, well, as far as a nanny goes, but simply put, it's not me that Valdic has to worry about. It's his own mind. Because I have Valdic locked in a trance. Valdic's scared shitless. Not of me, but his own mother. And his own mother, maybe she's watching, but she's in Sweden. He told me that. Because he told me things to just be a bragger. Because he's tied in with the Tijuana cartel too, because he's actually been there. And well, he's got a passport with a fake identification too. He told me it was fake. And well, he told me a lot of things. And I'm just relaying this to his mother so she knows the truth. Because, well, I know of a young man today I met. He simply knows about an alarm. And he might not have found Beth Banner. And he's sick. Because he should have hopped in that Monte Carlo. He's not sure if he'll ever see me again. And that was the Cody Hayden. The only one from Kamloops. And there's a Butcher. No, his alias is called the Butcher. And he's, simply put, a man from somewhere in the lower mainland. Because I'm from Kamloops. I'm 350 kilometers inland from him. And he holds fear. He doesn't have a hearing aid. And he's not Sam from SKSS. And he's not. Because Sam from SKSS don't hear so well in one ear. Because he was on the crack pipe once. The horn. The devil's dick. And he ain't on it no more. I straightened him right out with one right cross. Wasn't a very good one, but I didn't mean to hit him in the ear. But he don't hear so well. I'm not trying to embarrass him. Because in Chris Gregoire's world, well, where does he live? He lives somewhere in Kamloops. And I know maybe he's vacated a place. Maybe he has. Maybe he hasn't. He wouldn't fucking dare go on downtown Doug's property. And that's from fucking Wally. Because I didn't sit down there And I know of a man that didn't look like someone. And I know of two men that were brothers, still are. One of them's probably older than dirt. Maybe he's the dirt underfoot. Because up here, the dirt's like chalk, not like a chalk line. Nope. Those could be our ancestors. They could be, if you believe a little theory called these teeth being from a prehistoric family bloodline. Maybe they are. But I come from Guy's loins or Owen Thompson's loins. And he would have never. So he's pretty sure that I'm his son. And I've been on here for hundreds of fucking hours. And, well, I mean, the content that I can't put out, I got to put out some of this content. Because in 2020, it was a separation that was on my mind. So I was pissed off, and I held back a couple videos that I have access to. And the Communist Chinese were never under the scope. Never. I'm 742-713-357. And I got no problems with the Chinese. None that I can mention. I think they understood that I was stressed out about a failed marriage. And I was the victim of such things as Valdick, and he's a failed spy. And I outspied him, and he's not even trained in this stuff. Or he was trained in this stuff prior to 91. He was one of the best they had coming out of the certain part of the CCCP or the USSR. Both don't exist anymore. No one need worry when you see CP on the side of a train. It means Canadian Pacific. And when you see it again, it means Canadian Pacific. And when you see it again, it means Canadian Pacific. Because I think in terms of worldly powers and some Chinese, well, they can't argue with that one. And they may be communists, but I don't know if there's any of those running down the track in China. But if there is, well, there's a book called The Middle Kingdom. It's from a published author. The fuck is that? Oh, sorry, I heard something. There's a book called The Invisible Hand. It's from a published author. And I did some reading. I wrote them both. I didn't read them both. I read them both through. There's an elephant in the room there. I don't know who he is. But when I find him, I'm going to tell Ralph Bargy when I get there. Whoa. I broke it. I bought it. He knows what it is. Wasn't his. Because he has a memory. And I'm not human trafficked yet. But I'm not threatening my dad. Because I'm going to put this through my knee. I am. Because I'm mad. I'm mad at, well, Uncle Sam. What did he do to me? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. But there's more than one orphanage. I know they'd all donate a little bit to the orphanages if they could. I'm not strong on them too. I wouldn't do that to Uncle Sam. But Grandpa Sam's the problem. He lets me get away with anything. And goddamn him, he's a good man too. Because I see a chocolate bar. And I see a good place to keep my knife. That one there's mine. That was given to me by Sean Duff. And he goes by way of Sean Duff. And simply put, Nathan there. Oh, isn't he a big city gangster? He's one to be, because he's getting moved out of Kamloops, and he can't say a fucking thing about it, because I don't like him. Because he thinks he's tough guy, is he? Because I went back how many times to that house, and one young man was brave, and he showed me that he was fearless, and he walked up to me with bear spray, and I gave him a couple grand out of my pocket. That was the end of that beef. And who pushed it further than that? Matt Hickson did. Oh, Matt Hickson can't shut up about Cody Hayden. He's brainwashed by Cody Hayden completely. Because he wants me dead more than he likes breathing. Because wants me dead more than he likes breathing. Because he simply won't shut up about it. But he's telling the wrong people in the wrong gang. Because keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And sometimes that works in the opposite. Because, well, two men, well, one man, I figured the Chinks got him. And, well, the Chinese. No. Wait. I don't use that word. And that's just Cody Hayden saying that. So I'm a standalone white man, and well, shit, I'm caught. I'm not a racist, and I'm not. I just like a little racist humor. And I'm just looking at something called content creation, and some people don't know it, but They don't know the difference between a bipod and a tripod. And some men do. Simply put. And the kid stepping up into the big league. He may still need reinforcement from his other brother. His the title, The Gates of Hell, or The Highway Through Hell. Well, one man trucked it well. And he sat around and didn't do a fucking thing. And I ain't the merchant of death. So I'm not. And I never wanted $1 for my old man. Because he's not going to pay for the window anyway. That's okay. I can simply or drive in the cold. It doesn't bother me any. We haven't got snow yet. And this I got from a friend. She just had a baby. As long as she didn't name him Cody, I'm happy. Because if she named that baby Cody, I'll scream at her. Because she got seduced by someone called Sydney. And Sydney is Riley. And Sydney is in this whole bunch of shit. Because she's simply in a relationship. And it's open for a reason. So I'm looking at it the wrong way. I look like a big dumbass. But I don't give a shit. Because Sydney never came in the RV. And Montana did. She was here on her own 2 legs and feet. And simply put, someone didn't know she was in here the one day he turned the power off. Because he didn't know she was in here. And that's because Iffy has a dispute with Mr. Bacon. Which one? And well, I know the movie Canadian Bacon. And I know one that's older than dirt. I know somebody who thought they got court this morning too. Well, somebody was already up because he's been working a day job. Somebody got him a job somewhere in Kelowna, and that's Pat Haynes' fault. Pat Haynes was hoping I'd be dead right now. Jamie Bacon was too. But Jamie Bacon wants me dead. He's just a Hell's Angel. And you guessed it, I'm not. And is that a bipod or a tripod? Well, I know some things. And never fucking know. But watch P's and Q's if you're anybody outside of Gee. Because the young man's got connections that the old man don't have. And all Gee has to do. Now, Michael DeBurger might trick him into saying, well, he doesn't have to be tricked into saying anything. Because think of a interrogation room. And I had 3 of those this summer. And they lasted an hour each, maybe 2. They threatened me with a phone book. They didn't bring it in the room. And I don't know why they threatened me with a fucking phone book. I one man, he said he couldn't get anything out of me. Yeah, he said something about it doesn't bruise when the door is just about shut. And well, I thought it was kind of funny because Guy didn't pick my pocket. Neither did they. But they were yelling at me from the detainment cell at Motel 6. And there isn't one there. He runs as straight as operation as he can. He's just sick of the goddamn guys like Dan walking all over him. Dan was actually pretty good. If I can shelter somewhere, it's at Danimals. And Danimal knows me to be a good guy. Nothing changed there. I know a man that likes precious stones. You introduced me. Don't worry, I haven't been over there since. But we lost Shane and Scott McIntyre this year. Well, no, within the last 2 years. Year and a half. And I can't know for sure. I'm pretty positive they were both hot doses. But neither of them deserved it. Neither of them did. They weren't violent men. They weren't. And they weren't violent men. They weren't violent men. And I used to be a violent man. And I only came into Shane's life recently, but we were always allied in the hood. Always. I met him first, as far as a connection for something, when he was younger. And he was at Dustin's house. Not Dusty Falsetto. Different one. And, well, I met Dusty one time. I did. Well, twice. I grabbed something from him and I returned it. Because all the commotion in the hood is all about who gets to have me as a supplier. Well, what if I went around one place that loves me and having drinks, and maybe we got what we call it, maybe we don't have a problem, because we don't, and another place that's in on something that's no good, and they must like the outcome that Chris G seems to like, because he simply has women under lock and key. And somebody who hasn't found this YouTube, or they're laying in bed enjoying it with each other, I know, she hasn't found it, because she's simply wonderful. Now she locks the door because the summer's over, and well, I may never get laid again, and I won't, because I know the difference between human trafficking and preferences, and well, simply put, as Valdix calls in, because Valdix got what you call a problem with rape. Why is he seen in different provinces? Now, Canada's several thousand kilometers wide, north to southern tip. Well, it's big, and I don't know how big, but it's several thousand kilometers north too, and it's a big country. And why is Valdix seen going in the bush in his white truck? He got rid of it. Now he drives something blue. It's got an RH on the plate. And how do I know that? And it doesn't have an RH on the plate, or does it? Because their fearless leader is Jason R. And that's not Auntie Ellie's fearless leader. And Valdix, who the fuck are you? It's because you're seen going in the bush with women. And you don't come out of the bush with them, or they come out beating up black and blue, because you're into a thing called strong arm prostitution, and you just like doing it, so you do it with the women you enjoy raping and beating up. You got a little sickness from the Cold War era, and that's called viciousness and cruelty, no respect for anybody except Auntie Ellie, and she's like an auntie, but she's not my biological auntie. Everyone can understand this who knows her personally. And does he have to be told by the 357 at long range, 300-yard fucking crack that you haven't fucking moved? You're simply hiding behind this for sale sign, that bribery that you put there. And Michael the Burger wants to hide behind the fact that he's not a Hells Angels anymore. Or is he? Be a surprise to me and Oma. And that's your grandmother, Mike. I know. I lived there once. She tickled my foot. I snarled at her. Well, she only tickled my foot, Mike. And I'm not mad at her for it. And I think I saw her a couple more times after that. Maybe not. I moved out in a hurry because I got into the coke business. I didn't want to live there while I did it, because she wouldn't have probably known. She probably would have overlooked it. And by God, between her and Vito, if they ain't well known in town yet, well, I don't know who else I could scream to. Oh, Mr. Falsetta and the cobbler. And he's a feared man in his own right, in his day. And he's on the North Shore. And when you sign a phone up, prepaid phone up for yourself, there's North Kamloops and South Kamloops. Nobody knew that. So everybody gets a cell phone made for them. They put it all in their name. And there's a honey hole to be had of so that was weird. I just flinched. And somebody just got capped. Several billion people in this world. And that's not my fault. I didn't ask for it. I've been on here talking the whole time. And may he rest in peace. Somebody feels sick for doing it. And you gotta do it for the first time somehow. And maybe it was somebody's vengeance, gang territory. And maybe it was. Not my business. He probably doesn't want anyone to know. He probably isn't watching. I don't know who did it. Maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. I'm just sensing it. I got a sixth sense for strange things. And when I go whack, several billion people in this world, I could be making a guess. There's reasons why I don't have any women around. Because it's always wartime for Hayden. And I mean Cody Hayden, because I'm him. I'm gonna go in pain right now, because my thumb's in something. And what is it? Some might be interested to know. But I can't tell you, because I don't ask for people to be killed. I don't. Yeah, well, you puked. I don't think they test for puke. Maybe they do. I don't know. That's a new one. And who knows? I don't know where it happened. May he rest in peace. And may you be caught and charged. And I can't catch and charge you. And I don't know of a very safe place to do. I mean, safe place to do crime is in Kamloops, because we're kept safe for a reason. And there's two men that hold us down. The third one's that's suspicious, and somebody that couldn't possibly be watching. And well, I don't know. I sensed it. Doesn't mean it's true. And sometimes people flinch and get nervous twitches. And I haven't done any side since I left here. And that's called crystal sphincter. I didn't lick it. I didn't kiss it. I didn't hump it. I didn't do anything to it, because that's just it's just made so people don't do as much crystal methamphetamine. And well, somebody's probably sleeping. And don't alert your mother to your drug habit, because if you make it on Twitch, well, you make it on Twitch, but you won't get my endorsement for anything that's less than 5% of the overall annually take. And I don't ask for anything from a good drink at Starbucks, because that's not her name on Twitch TV. And some people might know this. Nobody knows who I manage for free. I do a good job. And I read somewhere once, or I seen it on TV. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But I read somewhere that a woman can love a man only one time, but a man can love more than one woman and get away with it and not go crazy. Well, maybe I can. And I see a mirror on a wall, and I know what it's saying. And I can't remember the rest of it, because I don't know nothing about building brand name. I guess I got my ID in 9148 114 352. The bloodline's secure, I say. Nobody need worry about it. Only one worried about it is Pat, and he's Dead Pat. That's his new alias. And it was all over Facebook. He's Dead Pat. And they thought that one was going to work. And the old man can't be watching this, because the old man was Ralph Barger. That was the old man. The old man is my dad. And to me, he was the old man. And well, somebody didn't call today. I guess he's going Brian's way, because Brian got himself another hangaround, and Brian forgot. Says he wanted an influx of gangsters from Vancouver, because there's two men that don't. But one man's thinking maybe it's a good idea. And dissension in the ranks. Whose ranks? Not hers. I loved her dearly. But she's gone. Nobody's playing grab ass with the king, so and my old man is just learning the realms of it, the actual truth. Because there's a man in Dallas, Valley View, like he's wanting to promise him a new wife, and he knows it's goose and the gander for him, and he knows it, and he's home, he's protecting her. She might be sleeping, she might be up, she might be watching this too. Nobody knows what I'm thinking of, because nobody knows what I got in my hand. And it's not anything to do with Bell and Howell, because it isn't. Those are tactical flashlights. They don't make one with a bipod or a tripod. So it wouldn't be for the old man, because into the hoods in the States, simply known as, well, whatever you want to call me. You put lipstick on me and call me Nancy, but you can't put lipstick on a sow in a thunderstorm. And if you know how hard it is to put lipstick on a sow, and I'm not making any any impression because it's impossible. I don't think it's impossible. It is impossible because he knows the difference between a cop and a criminal, but he figures they're cut from the same cloth. He did tell me that once, and he's figured, well, he's not sure what I am, but I ain't the second coming of Christ, and I ain't the devil. So, far as I know, the devil's down in Texas, and well, I won't be coming in sleep, so he doesn't have to worry about that. And nobody's coming here. Nobody's coming here. Nobody's coming here. And if anybody found their way here, it'd be to give me a big hug, because I'm back to tagging things now. And I tagged under a bridge. I tagged near a ice rink. I tagged on a dumpster. And it's simply protected by all means necessary. And what is? That's a mystery that only I know. And the rear flank hasn't got to be worried about, because he's simply he's out of power. Maybe he is. Maybe he didn't just turn the power off. Maybe Riley is Sidev. Maybe she isn't human trafficked. Maybe she cracked out somebody she shouldn't, because she takes advantage of him when he's like a father figure to her. And maybe he's mad at me for losing. Maybe I got a place to be. Maybe I don't have enough money to pay for his hydro bill. But I can be there. I can be there for him. That's how I can. Remember these two aren't they sweethearts? Now they're both best buddies. So I go over there and start patting Simba, and he's been sleeping. And I shouldn't have fell asleep this morning, but I didn't miss court. That's a great picture. I'm going to take it. I figured out these two cats. It's not easy to figure out cats. And it took a little while, and everyone's been here with me doing it. This one phone says device controls are unavailable. But some have fancy technology that can zoom up. Some don't. Well, I don't know who's watching. This is the phone. It's been hacked. You see how it's a caution sign, but no, it wasn't TELUS. That was simply done by whoever controls the software on this phone. And that's just a man named Clifford. And he's downriver. I'm in the elevated position. That's all it is. I got my ID. I haven't been human trafficked. And well, I remember those Alex call sign. And don't worry about Hayden. He's got the teeth of a saber-toothed tiger. Ancient fucking bloodline. Better ask somebody, because I don't give a fuck about nothing. I'm a standalone Canadian, and I don't tweak out when people simply misplace my bag. And I got my passport. No, I don't. That's in my blue bag. I don't know where it is. I might have hid it on myself. I do this all the time. And he may not have it, and he may not. I don't think I bothered him too much. Because I was trying to talk to him about a blue bag, and he got all fired up. He just woke up. Maybe he's grumpy about being woken up. Maybe he is. But he didn't call the cops because I know the response time. The last time they called, it was the cavalry that showed up. I mean, they got the cavalry. And I simply thought, when I was in the back of the squad car, or the SUV, or was it a truck? I can't remember. But I figured someone was going to crack a shot at me off from the hill somewhere. Because, well, I didn't know, because I was working online. I didn't know who was listening on the phone, because I was working there. Whoa. Attrition in that fight. Have to be over 2,100. They'll all be dead. I may never leave Eric, but I created. Because I created nothing. So good friends and enemies. And I like the enemies better than I like friends. So these two cats are brothers. Some not, some not. And I do fair to Simba. This one does purr and he wants love more than anybody. And don't you be his man. And Simba be nice. And, see, what happens in the animal kingdom is, well, some call it an ecosystem. The cats are fine. And I'm okay. Nothing's to be worried about. I've got ID. The blue bag is missing. I'll be okay. The price of meth is so fucking cheap in this province. It's cheaper to do meth than it is to eat. It is. It literally is. Depends how much of meth you do, but most people smoke like a ball or a quarter a day. They can afford to. Because some people are drug dealers. And some people have good jobs and they smoke a ball or a quarter a day. Because some people smoke it properly. And I smoke it wrong. I know I smoke it wrong. And I know I'm forgetful. I know I have money on me that I needed. I know I got 2 phones on me. I might have just left my bag somewhere and not remembering. Because I do this, because I have a short-term memory loss problem from smoking weed when I was young. And that's what's wrong. It's not fun to speed. And I know where I could hide out. And I could start hiding out. Like, it's like 19. I could start hiding out like, how do you say it? Like I'm on the run. But I'm not on the run from the law. And simply put, my fortune will be made selling cocaine. Because that's what I'm known for. Internationally, from 05 to 2010. Because all Clifford Coffin did was make a cartel, and the leader is Val. And Clifford and him are caught. And cartel leader is not Cody from British Columbia, it's Val. That was the man I was married at. I was married at his house out of respect. And I seen it on the mob radio. Which one? I can't tell. Because I just can't remember. My memory loss problem. From when I was never a cartel leader. And Valinsky, a.k.a. Val S., a.k.a. Val Dixon Savage, he told me he had a fake ID once. He said a bunch of things to me because he's a braggart. And he knows something about the Orange Rock Theory. He was never invited. Because Clifford, Val, Patty Haynes, Brian LeDue, and who else is it? Well, those men there, they represent something that is completely controlled by Ifford. And that's Cliff from Rivershore. That's Iffy. And he's the international leader of those 4 or 5 men. There's somebody that wants to go and sleep is playing power with monarchy. And he's the president of a chapter. And he's not worried about it. He's worried about what I'm going to say next. He's having me brainwashed. Because he doesn't get to say anything when I speak. I speak too much. And that's the call sign for Valdic. Because I have ID. And Valdic thinks he's cutting me out of my own dope line, which I built last year from February to February. That's who I was sourcing cocaine off of. And he wouldn't get in the side business with me. He wouldn't get in the fentanyl business with me. Because fentanyl is something that is bad. And I don't do it. But someone's in my bed. I don't do this stuff. I experimented with it because I wanted to find out how the family pictures work. How it is simply. I'm not asking anyone for protection because my dad hasn't been proven to be a nomad. And he hasn't been proven to be a thief either. But at this point in time, I might have left it in my car, or I might not have left it in his possession. Because the Hells Angels aren't taking what I learned in the fentanyl trade, using it against me by cutting me out. Would it do me any harm of staying home? Yeah, it would, because women are being human trafficked in cameras and alarming rate. And the human trafficker of the year is Clifford. And he's trying to poison two men against each other. Two men. They know the truth now. He hasn't called the cops because someone retired out east. I really want to remember that because he's not the problem in this family. The problem in this family is Clifford Coffin. And he is the problem. And he can't call the cops on me. Because I haven't gone on the property. Not today. I was there twice as a kid. And just because I have two felines figured out, don't mean one man didn't reach out to somebody just today to find out what's going on. Doesn't mean he's not lying. And maybe he is lying. Maybe he has a bag. But there's ID in it, and he can't give it to cops because he already did that once. With 2 ounces of cocaine in there, and it appeared back in my trunk. Because in PC, the problem isn't the RCMP. Quebec already had their biker war. And if he's lobbying for anybody, he's lobbying for Clifford completely. Because he's completely brainwashed by Clifford. And he thinks I'm going to be sold off to fucking human trafficking. That's why he took the fucking bag from me. I had the wallet in my pocket the whole time. Or was in the pocket of a different coat. Because the only thing that matters to him is if I go to jail for life before he does. And that's all he cares about. Because I did the investigating on Wayne Astle. Me. I brought that to the table. Guy did not. He's sitting there on money that Mario and Guy shouldn't have. So they won't stand up for me and when the time is right. They won't say a fucking thing because of somebody in California. And they're whipped right into obedience. That's how he operates. I don't operate like that. I'm a Cody Hayden, a Canadian, first and foremost. Period. Before I lead any fucking yank fucking creation called the fucking Hells Angels, I wouldn't fucking dare in 100 years. They're looking for leadership. They're looking in the wrong place. Because they got tricked by superior play out of organized crime. I don't even play it because Clifford wouldn't let me organize. And I'm broke. Down to what's in my fucking pocket. And he may hold a bag with my ID in it. Because he simply forgot. He already tried to sell me out this summer. And he's lying to you, if you're listening. Respectively. So you're a retired RCMP and you'd have to check. And it's a stark reality that a retired man had a fort teared down by a man named Guy. And Guy don't want to talk about that. You don't want to talk about Duke either. He likes to talk about nothing. Except when Guy's in a good mood. And Guy's simply in a mood that could be considered a rat mood. And well, it could be. And me and Guy get along just fine. And simply put, he ain't having me going off this property because that's a power play from Clifford Coughlin. And Clifford Coughlin has no power in this house or on this property because of me strictly. And Guy doesn't understand that because he's brainwashed completely by him. And he's absolutely brainwashed completely. And if he's talking to somebody in the Kavanaugh family, in his mind, well, he's a liar. He is. He's just trying to get out of what he thinks he's going to jail for life. And he can think that, doesn't mean there's proof. And he's simply squealing to an uncle, great uncle. And a great uncle twice. And that's simply, and he is. And he's just trying to get me thrown off the property. My mom doesn't want me thrown off the property. I know she doesn't. She knows something about a bag being stolen from, or I left it in the bathroom. Me and he let get along just fine. And he simply wants me to be homeless. He doesn't give a fuck what he doesn't care about anything. He is a nomad. And he won't tell anybody because they only show colors when they kill Hells Angels. And he hasn't told you that. And he may not be watching this because he doesn't know about it. Or he simply thinks he's talking to a man he can trust because he's Grandma Denise's brother, and I figured that out. And he's still part of the police fraternity. Stark reality. And frankly, it's cloudy, and I don't care. And I'm speaking code and riddle. He might catch something. You might, yeah. He doesn't have a fucking clue. He thinks he wants me dead now. He's a pathological liar. And, well, the bag couldn't be stolen from my car. I left it in there when I had a shower, accidentally. And I don't do fentanyl. I experimented with it to figure out the fentanyl crisis. And essentially, the Hells Angels are trying to say they figured out the fucking fentanyl crisis, and they haven't. They're the ones that imported it through Vancouver. And they cut out the triads. Triads don't say too much about it because it's true. And the triads might be in on it now because they started it. And the bikers in Vancouver, Paddy Haynes, one man, Sonny Hill's uncle, and his other uncle, and not the one in policing. And he doesn't start it. He didn't start it. And Sonny Hill only abducted my cat. And that's all. Just my cat. Says I'm open for interpretation to something called a secret. It's fiction at its finest. And if he's squealing to somebody in his mind, well, he's squealing. I'm going to town. And these cats will be in here. He hasn't cut the power yet. He did that when Montana was in there, though. Cut the fucking power off on a hot day. She was sleeping. That was him and Mr. Ippy's power play. Because he's in bed with Iffy. Like, he's in bed. And if he's talking to anybody in Quebec about anything, he's trying to get me in shit. Because you're the only one that can give him shit properly and yell at him. And he needs to listen to you if he's talking to you. Because he isn't listening to me when I say I protect this house from all enemies, foreign and domestic. I say that in every sense of the fucking word. And he doesn't. He doesn't even understand what a fucking enemy is. He doesn't know because he's brainwashed from the fucking get-go. Because Grandma Denise kicked him and Johnny out when they were young, like 12 or so. And he found Annie Massey, and they found the local chapter. And they've been loyal to somebody named Bacon in California from on since they can remember. And they can't think of any other thing about the world than that. And I hooked those two up, Bacon in California and Guy. And he's being controlled outright by him and Iffy. And he had a momentary lapse. He doesn't even know that's the man's alias. I know for a fact that's Clifford Coffin. I'm way ahead of it out here. And the secret chapter in British Columbia has got it figured out with me. I'm fine. Guy's fine. He's simply mad on the couch. And he's trying to figure out if he can have me put in the psych ward again. That's not going to fly because I'm sane. And I'm fine. And I'm the relative of Denise's who had some hospitalizations, yes. I've been on here a long time. Months I've been on here. And I got the content creation. It says 1 for you and 0 for me. I could hook up a camera to show you. I'll have to shut down the stream. I'll be back on. Oh, that's a fish. And that's inside joke. And not to insult anybody in Vancouver. And it's not. It's to break a man down because only a man in Salmon Arm knows that, well, me and Tony, we don't want him there. No, we don't. And Tony might not say it. He might be out to sleep waking up, but which Tony? Well, I can only say his last name because he didn't ask me to. But I know one thing. Jason Robertson isn't welcome in fucking Salmon Arm. And you know, he should move on to other stuff because he can smell the other. He's fine. With all his money, his permission. Other teammates feel he likes to brainwash because he's a neo-Nazi. It's called the fish. He's watching this for the first time tonight. I've been on here for hundreds of hours. Hundreds. And he just found it. And he's trying to throw me under the bus because the camera's chatting. They're like Nazi-ass fucking Soviet Reich fucking hailers from fucking hell. And that's the camera's chapter. And their fearless leader is Mr. Lipstick. And he's from California. And I'm alive and well. And Guy never heard anybody say that about him before. Guy's shocked. And he can't believe it because Mr. Lipstick probably has one loyal person. And that's Chrissy Hayden. And that's his daughter-in-law. She poisoned Fred Hayden. And Guy knows it. He's known it the whole time. And she's simply alive still. And hey, he committed suicide. It wasn't Hell's Angels. And I didn't say that. I just told that to just one person. Somebody's been here the whole time. And it's just testing me. There's no fucking way you found it for just now, unless you've been kept in the dark. No. We're going to the phone because the only reason the old man's alive is because of me. Because Clifford Coffin was pretending to be him on videotape for years, bossing around different cartels, making men feel like less than they are, bossing around fucking everybody he wanted to, pretending to be Guy in a way that would get Guy killed. And I'm the only one here protecting him. My mother doesn't bear arms. She's a woman, and she's a saint to me. And you think the RCMP can protect Guy? They don't, because they can't. It's an organized crime issue. And he was looking for protection from the wrong fucking relatives. And because he's not being protected by me, he's brainwashed by Iffy, completely brainwashed by him. I mean, he's completely brainwashed. Like, I mean, he thinks he's government. That's the problem out here. The Hells Angels are not government. They aren't. Somebody knows a relative who he's been hiding behind his whole career that he's just touched base with tonight for the first fucking time. And I joined those two in telekinetic bonding. And it just happened. And nobody's in trouble in Quebec because I'm Denise Cabanel's grandson and heir to her. Just being her. She loved me as a grandmother. She passed away. I'm trying to figure out if she was snuffed out in her home and in the care home. I was there once. She looked up to heaven and Guy was there. He wasn't paying attention. He was in fucking cloud nine there thinking he's going to get all her money and Wayne's money because I don't give a fuck about any of that money. I didn't want any of it. I'm sitting out here trying to figure out if Wayne was murdered. There's no doubt about that. And that was somebody with a bottom rocker on there. That was a fucking shithead named Devin Grant and his buddy Smiley. They probably planned it. And these fucking clowns are nobodies to me. I went to high school with them. Big deal. Everybody went to high school, but somebody turned out a criminal. I'm talking to a retired man and another retired man who's a trucker, was a trucker. He was in sanitations. And he's a die-alone fucking nomad. That's all he is. And he's simply lying to you and saying he isn't. It hasn't been proven. And he is. He's a nomad. Guaranteed he is. And he can't run me off this property if he wanted. Because if one more call from the cops, they'll fucking probably shoot him. Because there's a secret chapter out here. And they're sick of him. They're sick of that fucking guy. I'm sick of him. He's a fucking no good. He's a fucking standalone fucking loser. He doesn't hang out with anybody. He's sitting around waiting for my mother to die of MS. So he can have a 20-year-old girlfriend like Pat Haynes just had one taken off his fucking arm. And boo-hoo, Pat Haynes, you're caught like a little fucking bitch. Because he is the little bitch. Pat Haynes, and nobody talks about Pat Haynes like that. I do, and I get away with it. Because he doesn't like him at all. Because he was having an affair with her and him, and she's not now. But she's home and comfortable, and he's holding her like his bitch. Or no way, he doesn't think of his wife like that. He's not sure how to think. I'm way ahead of it out here, way ahead of it, and he doesn't have a fucking clue what he's doing. He's not in a hostage situation. He can come out here and talk to me. He can come out here and offer me a bottle of water. He can come out here and do a lot of things. He doesn't come out here at all. Because he simply doesn't understand organized crime anymore. He's thinking that someone in California loves him, and he doesn't love you at all, Guy. And he doesn't love that. He doesn't love you at all, Guy. And if he's one man that cared about you, why the fuck does he have me going to the food bank for food? And he wants me cut out of something called the drug trade? I cut my teeth on the fucking drug trade. And I'm a Lord now. It's Lord Hayden, for all of you who don't know. And he didn't know that. Guy doesn't believe it. And nobody would. And there's a reason for me being a Lord, because I'm smart as a fucking whip. And I can't stand Guy Dagnall. He's not sitting here treating my mother the way he does. sleeping on a fucking couch like he's in the back of a rig protecting her, but he's not man enough to leave her. That's all it is. Someone's been watching the whole time. And he just reached out. And he's doing it for Clifford. Clifford's trying to find out if he's under investigation stuff. And Clifford, you are. So why am I holding something that looks like a tactical handle? Because I am. And I don't need to answer to nobody. Because I got it under control. I'm leaving here. And there goes Guy's precious plan. Using me as a fall guy. With Tony Iderola. That's what you guys were talking about in the basement that day, eh? I was young enough to remember one thing. That he's sad to see me go, but he wants me off the property. But if I go off the property, nobody protects you from a man who'll come in and kill you and your wife. And they don't kill women. And he didn't think about that. He's hiding behind his wife, just like Clifford Coffin is, who's a well-established child pornography owner. And he forgot about those who he trusted or something. And he forgot. And I didn't. And he's feeling like a fucking asshole right now. And he should. Because there's a tube right there. And I can't stream from the car anymore. Until they call Telus in the morning. Because somebody's been doing me a solid at Telus. And I know you have. And simply put, the leak ain't from two retired men. It ain't from Rick. And it ain't from John. And simply put, it ain't from them. And simply put, someone Jason R knows. And he works at Telus. He might be in Edmonton, he might be in Canada still, I don't know. That's telecommunications company stuff. And I'm leaving here. Cats will be fine. Don't let ask my mother, let him out in the morning. They get along now. He doesn't give a fuck about no cats. He doesn't give a fuck about nothing except staying out of jail or killing Cody. Pat Haynes has got him convinced that Iffy and him are partners. And they are partners. And they are. He's just lying. He's paying Peter to pay Paul. And he's simply thinking he's losing his son for life. And you are too. You said something to me tonight I'll never forget. And you ain't getting me off this fucking property, bro. So remember that, Keith. You're a die-alone fucking house angel or you're a nomad. Whichever one you prefer, G. Because your only ally in life was me. That's the only fucking ally you had. You're reaching out to a man that doesn't even fucking know you. Doesn't even know you from a hole in the ground. And he just wants to know if Clifford's under investigation. Clifford's been under investigation for fucking 40 years, D. Just like you have. And that's the only thing you need to fucking know. So, and I'm the only one protecting you from that. Because you said something about the Queen I won't ever forget. You better learn how to keep your mouth fucking shut, dude. Because I won't dare repeat that. So, I'm taking what's the point of taking my computer? You didn't steal my bag. You didn't. I'm not a fucking drug dealer. Everybody in the fucking world knows I'm a drug dealer. So, and Guy, that's no good now because he's retired. And he sits around and pretends he's government. And he ain't. So, one thing he ain't is government. Where the fuck are my drinks? Did he steal my fucking drinks, dude? You think I'm gonna steal my fucking drinks, dude? Well, I guess I'll go buy more when that liquor store opens. That's in the fucking car. No, I brought him in here. Oh, he stole my drinks in my bag and he stole my fucking drinks too. He's a fucking rat, that dude. And he is. He's a fucking rat. He said something to me I'll never forget tonight. And he's a rat that used to fucking Motorhead. And he used to. And you found something called, what, killing Hells Angels? So you're still a fucking killer, G. Nobody's proving it. And, oh! That's what he did when he thought I was gonna beat him, because Uncle Johnny fucking smashed him up, cut off his fucking finger, get him off the heroin. And you ain't got it in you to do that. You're an old man. You don't control anybody. Ever in drug dealing. And I'm the villainous school teacher of the fucking underworld. What the fuck are you gonna do about it? You don't even know what movies that's from. If you're even watching this. Simply put, what you gonna do? Call the cops? He's scared he's gonna lose his son for life. I know he's not. He's scared I'm gonna leave him.